Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Life's a Mom. Today we have a boss in heels, and her name is Alexis, and we're so excited to have her here. She is literally a boss woman, and I'm so excited to introduce her. Alexis, so nice to have you here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. So, do you mind sharing with the listeners a little bit about your story and what got you and how you started Boss in Heels?
Absolutely. So let's see here. I moved to South Florida when I was 21. I had a 1-year-old at the time. We upped and left Indiana. No family, no friends here. We just jumped up, moved here, and I started 3 businesses from the ground up, all while being a single mom. And during that process, I was like, wow, I wonder how many other women want to go out and start something, but don't know how. They don't know where to start. They don't have the resources. And usually they don't have the confidence. So I said, I'm going to create an organization that will allow women to have all the resources they need to get their businesses off the ground and running with a support system. So that's kind of like my mentality behind Bosses in Heels. I wanted to help out women just like myself who maybe was juggling motherhood, living in survival mode, and they were like, no, I want more for myself.
I love that. And a lot of moms, they find themselves struggling when they become a mom because they're like, how do I balance motherhood and being a successful entrepreneur? A lot of us, even myself.
Yeah.
And it's a big juggle that no one really talks about. We're just expected to just get it on. But then we have our husbands, right? And there was something I read where it said, if wives also had a wife at home doing everything, how successful would they be?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So I like that. So what does Bosses in Heels really stand for beyond the name, which is a cool name, by the way. I love the name.
Right. It's so catchy.
Yeah, I love it.
And I'm always wearing heels. So it's like, it's perfect.
Love it.
But really my whole concept was entrepreneurship looks different on women. We show up differently. We have different conversations when it comes to anything, money, literacy. I mean, everything around business, women just do it so differently. And I wanted to honor that with Bosses in Heels. You don't have to show up and, be super, in your suit and everything super professional and like everything, men have a different way of operating. And so with Bosses in Heels, show up as a woman. We'll celebrate you, come as you are. If that means we're networking in heels and gowns, and that's what we're doing. But that is what it looks like to me, to be a woman in business, no suits, no, it's just us being women enjoying it.
And I feel like as women, we enjoy dressing up.
Absolutely.
Come on. Who doesn't? And as a mom, I think it's good for us, especially because most of the time we're in sweatpants and a t-shirt.
Exactly.
And I feel like it's a great opportunity for moms to get out of the house and get to do work and feel good about themselves.
Absolutely.
I think it's so important. So really, what inspired you to build a community specifically for women?
Mm-hmm. Men have already had it figured out. They go to the golf course, they go smoke cigars and they go do this and they know how to do it. They know how to form communities. If one of them have an idea, they call up a friend and they're like, yeah, bro, do this, do this, do this. Women don't have that. If you tell a girlfriend 9 times out of 10, hey, I'm thinking about starting a business or I need to get my name out there, they're like, oh, that's so cute. Like, you go, girl. And then that's it. It ends there. Mm-hmm. We don't have the difficult conversations. We never talk finances between woman to woman, ever. I don't think I've ever been able to have an open conversation with another woman about really diving into business.
I wonder why, though.
It's like this weird thing that society has put on women that we can't talk about it.
Right. And men talk about it left and right.
Right. Or we just have like this fake motivation kind of thing going on behind the scenes where it's like, oh, I love everything that women do. And I want to support women. But then when it's actually time to support the woman, there's nothing.
Wow.
So it's kind of like, I saw a quote the other day that said, when your friend asks about how your coffee business is going with a Starbucks cup in their hand. And that is the perfect way to describe women in business usually, because they're always looking to support you, but it's usually just talk. There's never usually any action behind it.
Do you think sometimes it could stem a little bit from jealousy?
I think so. I think women tend to have that. We have that natural inclination to be more jealous than we are supportive, unless there's cameras on us, right? And then it's like, oh, I love women, go women. Let's, let me support them the best that I can. Mm-hmm. Whereas men are a little bit different. It's like, oh, here, bro, here's a contact for you. Here's the person that I use that invested in my business. Maybe they'll help you out with yours. It's that brotherhood that they all do. They all just want to help each other. I don't think that women really have that right now. And so that's exactly why I wanted to create Bosses in Heels. I mean, it's all about truly supporting women, not just on Instagram, but really being a part of something and helping them establish a network.
And you don't have, it's not like an app. It's like in real life.
Right.
You have women come
Right.
and support one another. And I saw your website. There's different options that you could do. You can be a member. You can be a volunteer. Right. And what made you, how did you come up with this idea?
Again, like when I was building my companies from scratch, there was so many things that I needed, and I didn't know that I needed them until I was currently in that moment. And so when I meet all these women just networking or going out, they're always telling me stories. They're like, "Oh, like I wanted to create this, but I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. I need someone in PR. Do you know anybody?" And I'm like, "Wait a minute. I might be onto something here. What if I had an entire community that had all the resources that they needed too, not just networking, but no, if you need a PR person, we have one of those that can help you. We have a content strategist. We have someone, a videographer. We have everything that you need under the organization. You don't have to outsource it anymore. So I just wanted to eliminate as much work that these moms had to do, or women entrepreneurs, as much as I could, all under one umbrella.
I think you're doing amazing work, by the way. I love to see your content and what you do. And women need that pat on the back. They need that empowerment,
Support system.
Exactly. So what are some of the biggest struggles that you see women facing today, and especially moms?
Time. They don't have the time to do everything. And so what ends up happening is they have to pick between one thing or the other. Whereas with me, I feel like I've figured out a good balance, meaning between being a mother, building a business, taking care of myself, gym, all the things that we still have to do, but it's hard to find the time. So that's why I want to take as much off of women's plate as humanly possible, because I understand when women have time, they build some phenomenal things, truly, but they just have to find that time.
Right. And know the right people.
Exactly.
And you do that, which is amazing. So how do you balance being a businesswoman while also showing up for yourself in your personal life? And a mom.
So it was in the first couple of years, it was very difficult, to be honest with you. And that's just because I was a single mom and I was so young that I said, okay, what am I going to do? You can't play victim, right? You can't just sit at home and figure out and say, oh, life's going to work its way out somehow. No, I was very intentional with what I was building. And I said, I want to be a very present mother. That's my number one priority in life. It's my biggest responsibility. And so if I was my own boss, I could create my own schedules, which meant not only can I build a business that I'm proud of, but I can also still go to every game, do pick up and drop off, make sure I'm home by dinner. And I intentionally structured my life that way so that I could have time for all the things. My son, he's very active. He loves working out. He loves eating clean. That all translates into how I'm able to take care of myself, even while juggling motherhood and running a business. My son is so supportive of the life that I've built that he partakes in it. He's a part of that process that allows me to have flexibility and do the things that are important to me.
That is amazing. And you know what? The way he's living is a reflection of how you raised him.
Right.
You should be very proud.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. You only have one son.
Just one. I have a stepdaughter too.
Okay.
But we only have her part-time, so,
Okay, so
I can't take credit for her.
So what does having it all actually mean to you now versus when you first started?
Having it all to me is just being able to be present with my kid. That's what it all comes down to.
Right.
We all work our butts off, but we do that because we want the flexibility of getting to choose how we spend our time every day. I love waking up in the morning and getting my son ready for school, snuggling with him in the morning. I wouldn't be able to do that if I was in survival mode and I was, working a 9 to 5 and I was, really just struggling to make ends meet. You don't have that flexibility in your life.
Right.
Having it all is simply having all the time that I want with my child, and I can spend my time however I want with him.
I love that. And Alexis, I've heard so many stories from moms of my community, mom dates and play dates, and a lot of them after having a baby, they don't want to go back to work.
Right.
Because they also don't feel appreciated at work. Mm-hmm. Their boss expects them to just act like they didn't just pop out a baby, didn't just have a C-section. Yep. They just, 6 weeks, you're done. You're ready to come into work. Like, where are you? Yep. And I don't find that fair. But here in this community, when you have other women, they understand.
Right.
and you don't feel so alone.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ask, why do women feel so alone? Well, look how society treats us.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's fair. So I love that you're doing that. So what are some misconceptions about a woman in business that you wish people understood?
Okay, so I'm going to be very transparent here. So
Please.
Before I started my own business, I worked as a regional manager for a large dental service organization. And they had over 1,000 offices. And so my job was to go in and I would work very closely with the doctors. Now, I will tell you, working with a male doctor and working with a female doctor, two totally different things. And some of the stereotypes that we hear about women in business are true, right? That's why these misconceptions or stereotypes, they do have some truth behind them, which is, and I myself included, we prioritize different things than men do. We prioritize being at home with our kids, like we just talked about.
Yeah.
It's very important to me.
Right.
Men, they don't find as much importance in that. Why? Because they're the providers. They're going out to feed the family. It's almost like back in the old days where they would go out and hunt for food and they would be gone for weeks at a time.
Right.
The same concept still applies today. And so I think that women have to stop looking at it as being viewed wrong or misconceptions. I think it should be viewed as we have a different way of doing things. We have different priorities, and the world kind of has to shape around that because this is new. It's just recently that women were even working or having their own business or voting, for God's sake. So, I mean, it's just a different time and the world is going to have to get used to it. There's nothing wrong with the way women operate in business. There's nothing wrong with prioritizing your kids. The world just has to recognize it.
And yeah.
Different time, day and age.
100%. I couldn't agree more. So how do you deal with self-doubt or imposter syndrome? Because I know many women, especially entrepreneurs, go through that.
Yes, imposter syndrome. I actually just heard that term for the first time like a year ago. Actually, I think it was with Emma Grede. I was telling you
Oh my
about,
gosh.
Yes. So first, let me divert a little bit. Emma Grede.
Yeah,
that is like my idol.
So she gifted me this book by Emma Grede, and I'm so excited to read it. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so she kind of has like a different philosophy when it comes to imposter syndrome, which I found super interesting. It's like a lot of people think that they have imposter syndrome, but what it is usually them being unprepared. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, she's so right. Because there were plenty of times when I was starting my business where I was like, oh, I don't think I'm ready. I feel like I'm fooling everybody. And then I was like, no, you just haven't put in the real work yet. And so you're feeling uncomfortable because maybe you're not living up to what you're kind of telling people you are. Mm-hmm. And that's when the real work started. It's like, no, I need to be prepared. And that gives you a certain level of confidence and it wipes out that self-doubt. When you're prepared and you know exactly what you're bringing to an organization, to a person, you walk in the room completely different.
I love that advice so much. And preparation is key. But then it goes also back to the time, what we spoke about, not having time.
Right.
So sometimes we feel like we have to do it all and we need time to prepare. Mm-hmm. And it's not always easy. And also, and I think maybe this is my opinion because maybe it's my insecurity, but sometimes even with mom dates and play dates or even the podcast, things sometimes don't go as planned. Right. And you feel like everyone else knows. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, this didn't happen. This had to be postponed. Yeah. People must be thinking I'm failing, but no one sees that. It's my insecurity that I need to work on.
Yep, absolutely.
So I'm going to read her book, Emma Grede. I love it. It sounds amazing.
And it's so on theme with today's topic, just in general. Like, what does that really mean, being a mom and being an entrepreneur? And her take on it is much different than what we see today. It's no, you cannot have it all. You can't. You're going to have to slack in some areas and thrive in others, but you cannot have it all. You have to make sure you're prioritizing what's important to you.
Wow. And sometimes that's not always easy.
That's not easy either.
Yeah. Nothing is easy. The men have the great. They come home, the wife has food, the house is clean, the kids are bathed. Mm-hmm. Must be nice.
Seriously.
So what role does community play in a woman's success? I know we spoke a little bit about that, but in your community?
Everything. I think proximity is so important. And when you have a community of women that you see living the life that you want to live, it puts some fire underneath you. It gets you going in the morning. It's like, oh, Janice is doing this. If Janice can do this, and this, so can I. And then you go to these events and you see it happening in real life. On Instagram, it's a little bit different. I mean, how often do women sit and compare themselves to women online, organizations online, entrepreneurs online? And it's like, it's not that far out. You have the same opportunities as everybody else, but if you don't put yourself in those rooms, you think that it's too far fetched and you'll never be able to get there. So
Right.
community really provides you with a support system, and it's like, yes, you can do this. We all did it. You can do it too.
Right. No, and
Yeah.
I love that mentality. And I also want to add to that, though I do agree with you, I also feel that many women,
Yes.
specifically moms, especially after having a baby and your hormones going in all different directions,
Absolutely.
you compare yourself to someone's highlight reel.
Yep.
You might see someone successful, but it doesn't mean that they don't have struggles.
Exactly.
So that's another thing that I always like to share with moms. Don't compare your real life to a highlight reel.
Never do it.
Yeah, but there are good moments that
Yes.
they, can
Yes.
compare to, and they can do it too.
Absolutely.
There's no limitation. So what advice would you give a mom who wants to start something of her own but feels stuck?
I would really look into why you feel stuck. I feel like when you're intentional about where you're going in life, you just keep aiming towards that, if that makes sense. I never knew exactly what I wanted to do, even in business. I just went through life picking up every opportunity that I could, and I always got a lesson out of it. And so I never viewed being stuck as a negative. It's like, what do I need out of a situation to get me going, to push me forward?
Wow.
I don't think anyone's ever stuck in life. I think it's just their mentality and the way that they're looking at their situation.
I love that. Is that how you felt when you were a single mom trying to figure it out?
Absolutely. Not once did I ever play victim. Not once. I usually never even talk about being a single mom because I don't think that's important to my story. I think that it was the cards that I was dealt, and I took them and I played them and I played them well.
Yeah.
And that's how you have to look at life. Never view it as being stuck. Look at it as, what do I need? Like, what is it that I'm craving to get me going? Is it your kids? Do you want to make more money for your kids? Do you want to make more money so they can be in a better school? Do you want to be able to travel more? What is it that gets you out of bed in the morning?
That's
And work
amazing
for it,
advice.
you know?
I love that.
Yeah.
It's very true. And it's not always easy sometimes, but I think using something negative as a positive is not easy, but like when you practice it,
Yeah.
it becomes a habit.
Absolutely.
And they say it takes 30 days to make a habit. So if you wake up every morning, and I know it sounds ridiculous, like, say 10 or 5 positive things about your life.
Right.
And it might sound silly in the beginning. It might feel weird because you're like, what am I doing?
Yep.
But I promise you by the third day, and I did this myself, by the third day, I was like, let's go.
Exactly.
And it helped me become what I became and build this community of 5,000 women.
Exactly.
And it's amazing women. It is not, it's positive, and
Yes.
it just, it fills my cup.
Yes.
And I'm sure you feel the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get you out of bed.
Exactly.
Now you're doing things out because you just love it. And it makes you show up differently. People enjoy, they can feel that.
Your energy, your light.
You poured into yourself so that you could pour into others. And it shows.
Your kids feel it too, by the way.
Absolutely. Your partners feel it.
Everybody.
Your friends.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's amazing how that affects you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are some habits or routines that have helped you stay grounded?
I'm going to use my kid as an example because when you're a single parent, it's a little bit different, right? You don't have a support system at home. And so it was very important to me that the habits and things that I instilled into my son helped me too, right? So when my son wakes up in the morning, he goes, he does his own hair, he brushes his teeth, he gets himself dressed. During that time, I'm doing a quick 30-minute workout in the backyard. So those habits that I instill into others help support me so I have more time to do the things that I need to do. And I think setting habits doesn't necessarily just mean yourself. It could be your partner as well. My boyfriend knows I need my time at night. So he picks up on some of the areas that he can to give me more time at home.
How so, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, it can be doing the laundry. It could be getting the kids ready for bed, helping them with their routine, or just the little tiny things that would take me time to do. If I have something better to do, not better to do, that sounded really mean. Nothing's better than your kids, but I'm just saying if I have a business stuff to work on, now I have an extra 45 minutes at night that I'm able to do that because of the habits that my boyfriend and I have established with one another. So sometimes forming habits doesn't have anything to do with you. You can also have other people support you in that. And so that you're not just doing it all by yourself.
Your village.
Village, absolutely. You do not have to take people as they come. I hate when people think, like, oh, well, my husband doesn't do laundry. Well, he will if you ask him to. He will if you say, hey, moving forward, like every Wednesday, can you help me out by doing the laundry? And now you just freed up half an hour that you could spend building something that you want to do.
Yeah. And for us, 30 minutes is a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
You could get so much done in 30 minutes.
So many emails to respond to.
Yes. It's just Friday. Like if you don't have time to work out, there you go. I just gave you 30 extra minutes by having your husband pick up the slack and do something else around the house. And you typically do.
I love that. And also, it's so easy nowadays, even as a workout, you're like, well, what do? You just hop on YouTube. You just hop on.
Get on YouTube.
Yeah, anything. There's so many ways of doing things nowadays thanks to technology.
Exactly. Or women will say, oh, well, I don't know how to create a business plan. Get on YouTube. Well, I don't know how to structure my business. Get on YouTube. ChatGPT. I mean,
Claude.
There's no excuse. Do you know how much information you can learn with ChatGPT in 30 minutes? It's phenomenal. In 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, what you have access to now, there are no excuses for you not being where you want to be.
I mean, back in the day, we had to go to the library for the encyclopedia.
Yes,
we don't have to do that anymore.
Forget about it. And now it's all at our fingertips.
So there's no excuse, mamas.
No excuses.
No excuses. So what's something that you've gone through that really shaped who you are today?
I would say probably thinking that I wasn't where I needed to be. And for some reason, I think, again, maybe with social media, you're always feeling behind. And I realized that everyone's timeline looks a little bit differently. And so once I realized that, I looked at life a little bit differently. I'm like, Alexis, you're not behind. You're right where you need to be. Keep going. Keep going. Learn what you need to learn. I remember back in the day when I was working a 9 to 5 and I was so miserable, but I learned so many things back then that I use today. And I never would have put 2 and 2 together. So again, thinking that it was a setback back then were some of the greatest things that I needed to know to run a business now. So I think, just feeling like I was behind when I was never really behind. I was right on time.
And from hearing you speak, you sound like you do a lot of self-talk.
Oh my God, you have no idea.
But sometimes that helps.
It does help because when my son and I wake up in the morning, I always say to my son, I say, good morning, world. Your favorite person is awake. And my son uses that because he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm highly favored. The universe works in my favor and it's going to be a great freaking day today. And that's how you should wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Because there's always something waiting for you out there. Always. Whether it's a person, whether it's a conversation, an opportunity, you never know what the world has in store for you. You have to go out there and just be positive. And yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I also try to do that with my son. I'll wake up and we say, I say, thank you, God, for allowing us to wake up and start a day. Like, it just gives that positive. Exactly.
I'm happy to be here.
Exactly. But when you wake up, you're like, oh, I don't want to,
No, jump out of bed.
Exactly. Yep. Be excited. And again, habit. Make it a habit. Exactly. Yes. And I do that with my kids, which is, and even my 1-year-old, I'm like, good morning. You start as young as you possibly can. Yeah. I actually do this thing with my kids where I hold a mirror in front of them and I'm like, you are so handsome. You are so smart. You are so charismatic. I know you might not understand certain words I'm saying, like charismatic, but like it is the repetition. They hear it. Their bodies hear it. And I see they're happy kids. People come to me and say, your boys are so happy. And I know I'm doing a good job.
Compliment.
Yeah, for me, it's one of the best compliments ever. Yes. And also, as men, as you say, men and women are different.
Right.
I teach my sons to learn how to describe their feelings.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Because when you're young and a toddler and you don't have the vocabulary, it's hard for you to describe, Mom, my back is hurting, or Mom, I feel hunger. So I'm teaching him, what are you feeling? Are you feeling sad because Mommy said you can't have that right now? Yeah. And I feel like it'll help them in the future when they have girlfriends and wives. They'll be able to communicate, not just go inside and just deal with it. And I think that's very important for men and women.
Especially, but for boys, oh my gosh.
Even more so.
So important.
Because a lot of the men in our generation, I find that they were raised by very old school parents where it's like, big boys don't cry, go to your room, and it's like, why? Because they're a boy?
Right.
So I find, exactly. And I also teach my son the word no, because one day your boss might tell you no. What, are you going to have a fit on the floor?
Exactly.
So you need to learn to accept the answer is no. Yep. And sometimes you won't get an explanation.
True.
I didn't have that as a kid. So I teach that to my children. Yep. So this is all stuff that it's important.
So important.
Yep. So what do you wish was one thing that women gave themselves permission to do?
To have their own life outside of motherhood. Eventually, our kids will be grown. And I think as moms, we naturally create an entire life that just involves our kid. Our kid's at the center of it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but eventually one day our kids are going to walk out of our home. And then what? Who are you? What do you care about? How do you spend your time? How is your relationship with your partner outside of kids? When you give up your entire personality and just give it to your kids, and you're like, no, my kids are my entire world. That's great. That's amazing temporarily. But a lot of women, they get depressed. They get lost after their kids are out of the house because they lost who they were outside of being a mom. And a mom is a job, right? It's like you only get 18 real years with your kids and then they're gone. So who are you outside of motherhood? And that's what I think women really struggle with, finding their own identity. It's okay to give yourself permission to go to the gym for an hour. It's okay to go have a drink with your girlfriends. You don't have to have mom guilt. You can take a trip without your kids without feeling guilty. It's fine. You are still a human being outside of being a mom. So I wish more women would give themselves permission to just take after themselves and live their life.
I love that advice. It's very sad because I know specific, situations where everything revolved around the kids, right. Baseball, and they were a great mom. Till today, they're great mothers. Absolutely. But now they're stuck at home. Yep. Alone, and that's why I'm like, I want to be different. That's why I created what I created, because these moms will be friends for life.
Absolutely.
And you can still do things for yourself because your kids will also see mommy has our life. Yep. And that's important. I think
it's so important for them to see.
100%.
And it also changes the way that your kids will view being a parent. If you are always stressed out, you're viewing motherhood as this depleting thing that it's like, oh, it's exhausting. I lost my body. I lost this. I lost that. Your kids see that. They feel it.
Right.
They're not going to look at motherhood as this amazing thing. They're going to think that it's a setback.
Right.
I'm not having
scary.
Kids.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. Yeah. Put it in a different light.
And it's funny because a lot of people now are saying they don't want children.
I know.
I've never seen it in any other generation.
I know.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, because the way that we speak about it. It's like when you hear moms, they're like, oh my God, I have 3 kids. I don't have time for that. Or I'm in sweatpants. I have 3 kids. I can't handle that. Or whatever it is. It's just painted in such a negative light. Yeah. And said, no, it's a beautiful thing. It's a job. It's our priority right now. But after this, we're still going to have a life after that. So it's not the end. You can still be a mom and still live your life.
I love that so much. Moms, I hope you're taking this advice.
Seriously.
So what does success look like for you right now in this season of your life?
Oh, I think experiences, to be honest. My son and I, we've been traveling a lot recently, and I get to open my son's eyes up to everything. Everything that I didn't have access to, my son does. Actually, Immigrated went on a book tour a couple weeks ago, and I took my son with me to Los Angeles. And he's sitting there and he looks over at me and he's like seeing me smile because I love Immigrate. I'm like fangirling. Aww. And my son's like, it is so cool to see you this happy. And I was like, oh my God. I almost cried. I was like, oh my God, it's so cool. But I didn't have any experiences as a kid. My parents didn't travel. We didn't do anything. And so for me to be able to give that to my son, I feel like I've won. I feel like this is what success looks like to me. For my son, I say, son, what do you want to have lunch at today? He's like, can we go to the Breakers? I'm like, we absolutely can. But it's like just seeing how my success is really my son's success, right? Wow. It's like seeing all the opportunities, the schools that he gets to go to, or the activities that he gets to do. That's success to me.
Well, that's, I feel that.
Yeah, that's what
You're amazing.
That's what we work towards.
You're amazing. So if someone is listening and feels behind in life or business, what would you say to them today?
If they feel behind, you're never behind. You're always right on time. Every experience that we go through in life is setting us up for something that we don't even know is coming yet. I mean, anytime that you even speak to someone, always be trying to take information out of the conversation because it can help you later in life. You don't have to see the end goal to still pursue something. There's something out there that's meant for you, But if you don't have all the information, you're never going to be able to put the pieces together. So go through life just trying to get as much out of it as you possibly can, and you'll never feel behind.
Wow, I love that.
You'll always feel like you're doing everything right.
I love it. So for a mom listening right now who wants to start a business, can you explain the 3 different, like I saw your website, just to explain, how they can be a volunteer, they can be a member. Do you mind explaining a little bit how they can join and be a part of Boss in Heels?
Yeah. So I don't care what part of your business, what stage of your business you're in. One thing that you'll always need is customers. So with Bosses in Heels, the cool thing is that even if you're super successful in business, right, you always need to keep putting your business out there. So let's say you're a part of Bosses in Heels as a mentor. You're meeting with all of these different women in different areas of business that you now have a network with. And all you're doing is giving your expertise to some of these women that may not have it or they need it. Maybe you're an expert in brick and mortar businesses, and now one of our new members is starting one. So you're just giving the information to this new woman. But what you're getting in return is a network of women that you can now do business with down the road, or maybe they have connections for you and your business. It's just a beautiful full circle moment. It doesn't matter what stage you're in. Bosses in Heels has a place for them. If you are a volunteer, you're simply volunteering your time, getting in the right rooms with the right people. Maybe you don't have the money for the membership. No problem. Come and volunteer your time. You still get to meet all the same people. You get to network. You get to mingle and take advice from other women in the business. And it's amazing. And then if you're an applicant, you're a part of our organization, you get all the resources to help grow your business. We have people that will do your cold calls for you, send out emails to get new clients, do your content strategy on social media. Everything that you need to truly grow, we have that for you. So there's truly a seat at the table for everybody within Bosses in Heels.
I love that so much, especially for moms who don't have the time.
No.
This is a great way to access. And you are based in West Palm Beach.
Exactly. Yeah. Palm Beach County. We do a lot of stuff on Zoom as well. So even if you're not local to this area, no problem. You still have some amazing things. We plan on extending our events to different cities eventually. But right now we just stay in Palm Beach. But you can always join on Zoom or anything else. So
I love that. And how many events do you do more or less in a month?
And we actually only do about 5 a year right now. But we do plan on growing that as we get bigger. But honestly, I just started Bosses in Heels less than 2 years ago. And so the growth that we've already had in the last 2 years is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. And it's only the beginning.
It's only the beginning.
Wow. I'm so excited. I love this. So what's next for Bosses in Heels? I know you mentioned, doing more events, but is there anything that you're planning that you want to share or keep?
Yeah. So our annual gala is coming up. It's going to be October 3rd in Palm Beach.
Count me in.
Every year we host an event where 5 women entrepreneurs pitch their business live, Shark Tank style, but Met Gala style as well. Everyone's in gowns, and it's nice to get 2 minutes to pitch, and then the audience votes live on a winner. So what these women get during that time is not only do you get the publicity, right? We have news people there, and you have this amazing platform to showcase your business, but then also you have the opportunity to raise capital. And that's what women need to get their business off the ground.
Right.
So motivation is great. We all need motivation occasionally, but money is what moves the needle.
100%.
So this gala is going to be amazing. So if you guys are around Palm Beach, October 3rd, it's going to be phenomenal.
You guys can join me because I'm going to be going. I'm very excited. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait.
Yes.
But yeah, raising capital, it's not easy. You need to also invest in order to be successful. It's hard when you don't have.
Exactly.
So I love this so much and I'm so excited. Oh my gosh.
No chill.
So what message do you want every woman listening to walk away with from this podcast today?
You are capable of far more than you think you are. You just have to go out there and get it. Don't be scared. Don't have guilt. Show up for yourself the same way that you show up for other people.
I love that. And I started this new thing for all my guests coming. I get them a little gift.
Oh my gosh.
So I got you just a little something small. You can open it later. You can open it now. It's up to you.
Adorable. Oh my gosh. You want me to open it now?
Sure, if you want to. It's just a little something small. Just so you can remember our time together.
Oh my gosh. I can't.
I don't know, just something small.
So cute. Can they see this? Can I show them?
Yeah, Pete's going to zoom in.
Pete. Can you see?
Yeah,
Oh, God. I love
it's
you.
a little
You are so
bracelet that
cute.
says Life's a Mom.
I
And
love it.
yeah,
It's the most
so
important role.
yes, it really
Yes,
is.
I
So
love
thank
it.
you for being here
Thank you
today
for having me. This
and
was
being
so much
such
fun.
a powerhouse for so many women.
Likewise, what you're doing with your community of women is so important, and they're going to appreciate that for the rest of their lives.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you. It
thank
definitely
you.
fills my cup. And for all the listeners listening, I will link all our description in the link in the bio. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And remember, you're doing better than you think. See you next week on Life's a Mom.